back to the immigration order. I mean, this is still news. You know, the aftermath of some of this are these raids. I mean, I'll call them, and I prefer to call them more enforcement actions. That ICE is taking care of, and they're going and they're arresting people who are not here legally,
have criminal records.
But one thing that gets me about all this is just how many sob stories do I have to listen to on television where people are holding up these pictures of these people who are here illegally, and they've been here illegally for 2 years. Well, they came here and then they got married and had a family, and their kids are American citizens, and now they got to go back to Mexico.
Separating these families. Okay, here's how to keep your family together. As an illegal American in the United States, get a job, go to work, stay out of trouble. Okay, because there's 11 million people pulling off this caper. Okay, how are they doing that when we're all trying to catch them and kick them out? They're doing it by they keep their head down, they go to work every day, they earn their money, they pay their bills, they don't make any trouble. The people they're targeting are the people who make trouble, who join gangs, who make drug cartels and whatnot. And the thing about the immigration order is there's going to be a moment of truth on that, because if I'm them, I go to the Supreme Court. I make the Supreme Court rule on this, because the law is pretty clear. The law says the president determines immigration policy with wide latitude. Right? These are a district judge in Seattle who was a Bill Clinton appointee, the 3-judge panel of the Ninth, which enough said. These are clearly politically motivated rulings, right? They're clearly, it's like, well, I think it's discrimination against those countries. Like, you don't get asked that question. Your question is, what does the law say, right? So if it goes to the Supreme Court, now it's 4-4. So you have to get somebody to flip. One of those 4 Democrat judges has to flip. Okay, the ruling is, the law is pretty clear. So are there 4 Supreme Court justices willing to politicize their jobs to that point? That's the question. Okay, and we need to know the answer to that, because if that's the thing, then we don't have law and order in this country. We don't have balance of power. We don't have checks and balances, and some things seriously need to get addressed.
Yeah, and we're seeing this. All these kind of crazy things coming out of me. More cities say, "Well, we're going to declare ourselves sanctuary cities," which you don't give them their funding, and they probably will change their tune because they can't afford to lose the federal dollars in the long run.
And cities are starting.
Yeah,
aye, sir.
Right, and then others like Maryland that are trying to find ways. And in Maryland, you can get laws passed because it's so heavily Democratic to try to protect these people and basically putting up a fight against the administration. But the other thing about these enforcement actions too is just that Obama did some of these things.
Yeah,
right.
Did a lot of these things.
Right, but where was the outcry then?
Well, there was no outcry, but it was limited to the people who are engaged on this issue. Now it is the whole anti-Trump crowd. So I mean, the numbers look larger, but the feeling's the same.
Yeah. So but I mean, realistically though, if you've got people that have committed robberies, rapes, they're dealing drugs.
You're here illegally.
Yeah,
out
illegally.
The door. What happens in Mexico? If you're caught in Mexico without travel documents, without visas or whatnot, 2 years in prison and/or deported. They either deport you immediately, or you go to prison for 2 years and then are deported.
Right. I mean, if you think about the stories that we've seen over the years about if you're caught dealing drugs in Thailand or places like that, you're killed. You're going to prison. I mean, your life is basically over. We're nowhere near that.
Right.
I mean, we're pretty darn lenient, with that.